Hello. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world. How you doing? Right, have I got everything? Suddenly like, crap, where's my stylus? Where's my cables to connect everything up? Hi, hello. Hopefully you can hear me. Try and avoid the technical difficulties. Olympics Paris 2024. Let's have a look. Go on then. Olympics Paris 2024. Oh. I mean, that is quite clever, doubling up the hair and the flame from the Olympic torch. Less crazy about the font. It's so interesting. It's a cool symbol, though. So yeah, we are just going to chill tonight, and we're just going to do some logo design. I'm going to get into it, and just have a bit of fun, really, because I've not really done a proper logo for a good couple of weeks now. And I think my brain has been creatively starved. We've had a good bit of fun over Christmas.
Rainy day outside.
It's a rainy day outside. I'm not entirely sure why that's significant.
Do you want to be cozy?
Do you want to be cozy? I wish we had like a little fire or something. Like obviously like safely like a wood burner or something. Not like a fire just like randomly in the room. Oh goodness, the house is on fire. But what am I even saying? Yours is lagging too. Oh no, are we lagging? Why are we lagging? We shouldn't be lagging.
Probably the weather.
It's probably the weather, yeah. Probably the slow British weather speed test. Ah, it's not me. We got good internet at the minute. I'll take that. I've been caffeine free pretty much mostly, apart from the odd Pepsi Max, for about a month now. I'm starting to regain function. Dansky, I have a question. Go for it. What is your question? Hey, Casson. Hey, Rob. Good to see you again, man. Crystal clear for me. Excellent. Right, what was I even saying before I derailed myself? Yeah, we're just going to do some logo design today. So what I really would love to do is if someone has a logo design that they don't like, they think is bad, that is outdated, that basically just needs a bit of love, a bit of a refresh, and we'll take that existing logo, kind of like we did with the Enviromech one, and we'll just spend the stream trying to give it the due care and attention that it deserves. Or I could just make up something with ChatGPT, a fictional brief. That's a good point. Yeah, if you do have a logo that you think needs a bit of love or modernizing or whatever, send it there. Do. And yeah, we'll see what we end up doing. Yeah, it could be a real brand. This can be a real brand, a big brand, a small brand. Do you explain mixed boards? Not usually, no. In fact, just realised I got the wrong link in the description. 1 second. Whilst yeah, there we go. So if some of you are sending logos over, give you a sec. Or we can just generate a brief. I like generating briefs sometimes or whatever, just having something on the spot because it does make it a little bit more challenging. At the expense of a little bit of stress, but it's fine. It's all good fun. We can just poke fun at me if it does or doesn't work. Right, hopefully I've got the right link here. So we're going to be using Adobe Illustrator for a lot of this. If you do want to learn Illustrator with me, as you probably heard me mention before, there is my full Illustrator course, beginner to the most advanced stuff I teach. I've got the same for Photoshop as well. They took so long. They took so long to get all that done, those courses. I'm so glad they're done now. Right, the link is working. If you can't see the link in the stream description, just refresh. Right, I'll keep an eye on my inbox just in case anyone is sending anything over. I've usually got lots of logos that well, let's just say that I'm not too keen on, and I take pictures on my phone. If a van drives past, and it's usually on like a van or a truck, and it doesn't have a nice logo, I can't help but snap a picture. Right. Okay. Which one shall we do? Yeah, let's have a gander. Oh, I see. You sent a brief over. Ooh, create a brand identity for synthesis. Synthesis that captures the balance between nature and machine. Ooh, that's an interesting mix. The brand is raw yet refined, grounded yet electric, and completely alive. Goals: futuristic but earthy, immersive and atmospheric, artistic and experimental, grounded in nature and powered by sound. That is a flippin' good brief. Okay, we'll keep that in the back pocket for sure. Let me just copy this actually so you can see what I am looking at. Hey, Moosh. Moosh! Bing, bing, bing. Ding, ding, ding. Where's the gong? I think it's over there. I can't reach. I fell in love with that brief. Yeah, I can see why. That's pretty interesting. That has tickled my pickle a little bit, actually. That would be quite fun to create for. Obviously, we're going to have to condense the logo design process and try and whack something out really good. But it captures the balance between nature and machine. Okay, so the balance between nature and machine. So you could have like the sort of the yin yang symbol, but then have half of it a machine and half of it nature and vines, like trees and things. Oh yeah, that could be tricky, but could be really cool. I can't see you down there. It's probably for the best. Kerry, you've got to open your eyes, Kerry. Stop trying to make me paranoid. Can people see me? You should be able to. You can see me, right? It's Kerry then. Kerry, Kerry, you're looking at the wrong monitor.
Oh, it's a tornado out there.
Oh, you don't want it larger. You don't need to see me. If I make it bigger, you won't be able to see anything I do. Oh, you're on your way home.
Is that why you can't see?
There might be, yeah, because he's got his eyes on the road like a responsible citizen. That's why I like it. It's all right. No offense taken, Kerry. Create a brand and just send this. I don't know why. I feel like something like this would be my initial brain. Sometimes I struggle with words. My brain is initially thinking something more typography led, but with a little bit of nature incorporated into the type. possibly. Ooh. What does synthesis, I can't, I'm saying it different ways, synthesis do? Yeah, what does it do, Raquel? Powered by sound. Where did you get the brief from, Raquel? Was this something? It doesn't look GPT, so I'm guessing this came from somewhere. Or is it up to me to figure out what it does? Oh, hi, I'm new here. Hello, Anna. Welcome. Hopefully you have a good time. Feel free to laugh at me at any point. Laughing at me is permitted. Oh, brief me, baby. Okay. So do we know what the brand does? Does it say on Brief Me Baby what it does? Wait. Okay. Standing by. I will wait. We're going to start by sketching some ideas in Photoshop. I much prefer sketching in Photoshop just because the brushes are raster based, and then we will dive into Illustrator. I think we're going to have to condense this logo design process, like shrink it right down and just pretend that we're up against a deadline. I mean, while Raquel is potentially looking something up. Oh, there we go. Hang on. Where Nature Meets Noise. It's an immersive music and arts festival that blurs the line between organic and the electronic. It's a place where sound, light, and human connection collide. Set deep in nature, intersection of art, music, environment. Custom built stages. Experimental DJs lighting up the night. What? So are we talking about like a gig or a DJ or a set or something out in nature? So you've got this picturesque scene somewhere in nature, and then you just have this random stage DJ rave, I don't know, whatever, in the middle of nature. So it is very, very music oriented. Is that right? Music and arts festival in nature. Yeah. Okay. Oh, go on then. Right. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna just copy and paste what you've put, dump this in ChatGPT, and then have a version that I can copy and paste. So I can then, I'll pop it in the Discord as well. Right, we've got that. We've got this. Paste that in. Right, here's the info. Can you format into a single brief? One of the many ways that GPT is incredibly useful. Right, here we go. Right, I will throw this in the Discord. Okay. And it's always good to paste the brief into your document. At least this is something I always do because, as you've probably seen many times, it's easy to stray from the path of thy brief and end up completely lost until Raquel yells at you and says, "Don't forget the damn brief, Ginger." And then you come back to the light So yeah, there we go. Okay, this is our brief. So we'll stick it somewhere. We'll stick it in the corner. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and go through, quickly highlight some keywords. For time, I'm probably going to skip brainstorming too heavily. I just kind of want to get into it and just generate some sketches and ideas, see if we can come up with something good. Feel free to shout ideas at me, send ideas to that email. Forest cult. Electric forest in Michigan. Oh, is that a thing? Never heard of that. That sounds fun. So what we're going to do is just make a new layer. Grab the brush tool, pick your favoritist color in the whole world. Mine isn't pink, but it's very easy to see. So we're going to set the blending mode to multiply, and then we can just do that. Let's go with a nice hard edge. Then we can just highlight certain bits. There's my brush settings. Yeah, there we go. Perfecto. Right, so immersive music and arts festival. So these are keywords, obviously, music and art. There's a fusion of those two things where nature meets noise. So lots of different aspects there. 4 different aspects. We could have it sort of in a something more emblematic, or maybe 4 different symbols. Might be a bit much, but maybe there's a way that could work. Set deep within the landscape. Festival celebrates the intersection of art, sound, and environment. So obviously these words are pretty key. Yeah, maybe celebrate as well. Blurs the line between the organic and the electronic, capturing the tension and harmony between raw nature and engineered energy. So maybe nature, engineered. This experience of space where light, music, and architecture. There's lots of keywords in here. And this is kind of good, actually. It's good to have keywords. Normally what you would do is you would send your client a questionnaire. They would fill it out, and their answers would hopefully organically contain lots of different words, and you would find that they repeat words often. The words that they repeat, because they're just describing effectively what their brand or their business is, that's what you want to kind of pull on. So they'll just answer the questions and you'll be like, oh, they said music 20 times. Okay, clearly they want an emphasis on music then. Human connection. Custom built stages. Rise from the terrain. God, that's, I mean, so okay, so I guess they organize the whole event. So whether it's the stage or the DJ or the site, I'm guessing that this brand, unless I've missed something, they are festival organizers basically, and they put these events on. So they're the company that would put this event on. Is that right? Electric Forest. That does sound fun. Thank you. This is a nice little on-brand hat. Large-scale light installations transform the wilderness, and experimental DJs live techno artists ignite the night. So what have we got DJs. Yeah, and this is where it's good to circle all these different words, because, you know, it's a music and arts festival, but I feel like the emphasis here is on music, that's on sound, DJs, artists. Ignite the night. Ignite the night. Normally I wouldn't circle that, but that, I love that word, ignite. Ignite the night. So you could do something with a moon, full moon, a crescent moon, a flame. You could interlink them. There could be something quite tasty in there. Completely alive. Right, okay. They're sort of techie but alive. Brand goals. Futuristic but earthy. So it needs to have a sci-fi quality to it. And I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but in my brain is suggesting doing something with the type that has like a sci-fi aesthetic. We did that recently as well with something else. Artistic and experimental. Rooted in the natural world and powered by sound. God, flippin' heck. This is an interesting one. Deliverables, full brand guidelines. Sod off. We got to get in some ideas down first. Okay, so for sketching, I'm just going to use the brush. This one here is absolutely fine. Drop the flow to anywhere between 20 and 40%. Nice and small. This gives you like a really nice, well, not like a pencil brush, but it kind of mimic. If you're drawing with a pen display, you can mimic like a nice. It's a good sort of sketching brush. And this is the point where I think a lot of people, and sometimes myself, your brain just goes blank, which is obviously not very helpful at all. I do find music helps me get into the zone of it as well. And we're just gonna start sketching. We're gonna just not sit here and think. Just gonna start sketching terrible sketches and see if we can get an idea that sticks. Exactly, Keith. Graphic design is awesome. Okay. Music. Oh. Right. What are we going to do, Dan? Music. And this might be literal, it might not. We're just going to sketch and see what happens. So obviously you've got a music note. Sometimes you can find like a link between structures. Like, as a terrible example, you might do a music note and think, oh, I could turn that into a mountain. And that could be a thing, or we could use the music notes as some sort of stage. So the music note itself could be flipped around to become a stage. My headphones are doing something weird again. I don't know why my headphones seem to go really weird when I'm streaming. Let's try again. Let's try again. See how we get on. Yeah, there we go. Oh, cool. Sorry now. Right. DJ on a mushroom. Yeah, so what do we got then? We got Dex. Mushroom. What do mushrooms look like? Something like that. Ideas. Light, music, architecture. So like when you have a festival on a stage, you kind of have light rigging and I don't know, maybe there's some sort of idea there. Human connection. I mean, we did have the idea of the yin yang symbol as well. So you could do something more technical and something a bit more naturey. So this, I mean, it's kind of a bit typical, but this could be like a leaf. Maybe we could do something a bit more interesting with it. And this one here could be a deck or something a bit more mechanical. The two halves that make up the whole, maybe that sort of thing. I mean, that could be quite cool. I don't know if it's a bit on the nose or not, but we have two opposite worlds. Yeah, they are kind of opposite, aren't they? What was the idea about the moon as well? I had an idea about the moon. Ignite. That was the word I really liked. So kind of like a rounded. So some sort of flame. And what are we igniting, Dan? What are we igniting here? Could be the moon. That could be a mountain. I don't know. Moon, mountain, no. A little star up here, maybe. Kind of almost like you've got the... Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. The moon here under the mountain. And then you have a little tiny star in the sky. There we go. Or you do the moon up here. The moon and the star. Might be a bit much. This becomes your mountain with your trees and whatever. And this could be like another part of the hill, maybe. I'd love to be able to capture it in a circle. It'd be so cool. You could divide it into 4 and have different aspects. What about a tree with roots looking like they're electronic sound waves? I like it. Nice. So if we did a tree, that is my tree, don't laugh. And then what you're saying is kind of having sound waves kind of going into the floor, or... How are sound waves represented? It's a bit too ECG. Could be bars. Yes, you could mind map. I'm just diving into sketching just for time's sake. We're condensing the process rapidly. A slice, a cut section of a log for Dex. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so if I go, let's type in Google. I'm going to type tree stump. Let me bring this up so you can see. That is a flipping good idea, man. And then we got a DJ deck. Cool. Could we make that work? Could we blend a DJ deck? So what I would sometimes do is look up an icon. I wouldn't necessarily look up logos for this one. I want to try and avoid having other logos in my head, but things like this are quite good. You can see like minimal ways, like here as well. Little things that people use to represent real world things in a minimal way. This is kind of cool. Yeah, you got the vinyl there. The problem is the vinyl and the concentric circles here on the tree stump, they're very similar. So the only way this would work, actually no, the way this would work, because you wouldn't be able to tell if is it a vinyl or is it a tree stump, is you have the vinyl and then you have it surrounded by a very rough tree stump. I'm gonna try it. Oh, here we go, there's a better one. We're gonna have to jump into Illustrator for this because there's no point sketching concentric circles. Right, no, wrong tool down. Polar grid tool, nope, that's the wrong tool. No, that's the right tool. I do know what I'm doing, honest. Right, I'll do 10 of them, no radial dividers. So there we go, that should give us something decent. It's not too small that at a small size you won't be able to tell what it is. Maybe go for 4. Get rid of the middle ones. So there we go. That'll be our vinyl. And if we wanted to do like tree stump, we could. Well, first of all, we'll set the background to white, select the outer one, copy, paste it behind, give it a black fill. So it looks like this. There's a few different things we could do. I need to kind of roughen the edge. Now, this is not my normal style. First I'm going to make it bigger. So let's copy that actually, just in case I screw this up. This is going to be a bit more freehand for me, and I don't like freehanding, but I think this idea calls for it. So what have we got? Warp. Just the right tool? No, this isn't the right tool, is it? Wrinkle, that's the one. So we can use this to roughen the edge. The longer you hold it down. That does look kind of cool, actually. I don't know if it's clearly a tree stump or not, but that's probably the, well, I think that's got to be the first time I've used the wrinkle tool as part of a logo and gone, that's cool. It goes up and down. I don't know if you can use it horizontally or not. I mean, we could just rotate the whole design and use it that way. Just got to make sure we don't overdo it. Bit bigger. And then if that was too much, we could try and enlist the smooth tool. Oh, yeah. There we go. So the smooth tool is just going to allow us. I love this smooth slider. This is flipping a great addition. Yeah, there we go. So we can kind of choose where we want that line to be. Those two spiky ones are a bit much. That has got just the right amount of randomness, I think. So we'll grab that. I mean, I don't know if this is the idea, but and then we need to do this and from this and switch to a rounded cap. Oh, I'm not as much a fan of that. How else can we do this? Or flip the colors around. Don't know. I feel like there is an idea there somewhere. That's probably the closest. So, is it the number of circles? Is it the weight? Are they too thick, too thin? Could be a bit thick. So we'll try one version there, and then we'll just kind of vary it. and maybe do a version that loses a couple lines. So we'll go for like a more minimal approach. And maybe have a nice gap on the inside and a gap on the outside as well. You see, two different approaches there. One's a bit more minimal, much more scalable for smaller sizes. And I think to really finish this off and give it like a vinyl feel, we're going to swap this around something in the middle, a little dot in the middle there. Horribly rough is fine. Do you want to chuck it in the Discord? Go for it. There's nothing wrong with horribly, terribly, embarrassingly rough. It's just the way it goes. Every great idea starts somewhere. Yeah. I think it's a cool idea. I'm not really getting log as much though. I'm not sure if it just looks like a rough, rickety, wobbly vinyl. Maybe add a zigzag distort. Oh, what you mean to these ones? Go on then. Go on then. Zigzag. The problem with this zigzag is very uniform. It's very. It's a bit too perfect. Unless maybe roughen. It might be the way to go. Yeah, maybe that is less uniform than a bit more unpredictable detail. So we'll keep the detail low, but bump the size a bit more. And that is editable as well. That is an effect that I can go and edit. I love that effect. Yeah, I don't know. I think I mean, I've achieved kind of what I set out to achieve with it. Whether it actually works as a logo, I don't know. Sent it on Discord. Oh, I see. You've gone for the tree and the music symbol. Yeah, that is cool. Nice. I like that. I always love to try and uh, combine shapes together in a clever way. Hmm. Some other sketches. I think I don't want to pursue that one too much because I don't feel like that's the one. I mean, Sound and Mountains does look kind of similar. Like, if I do like a mountain icon, it'd be something like this, right? Maybe there's an idea there. A little moon up here, maybe. Or a little star, I don't know. Don't know if that's a bit terrible. What about like a reflection? So this is the almost like a reflection of this. Nature, music, festival. Let's type in festival. Festival icon. Okay, bunting is very festival. This sort of stuff. Hmm. Yeah, maybe audio waves as mountains. So let's have a look at audio waves because there's so many different ways. I was thinking more like a kind of heartbeat monitor, but yeah, hey, look at this. Yeah, this could be very mountainous or naturey. What about an icon? Simple form. Yeah, this is more what I was thinking. Ah, this is quite a handy little sheet. Yeah, we'll throw that in our file for sure. Oh, the plug, like an amp plug. That's a cool one. Like an amp plug that's a tree, not necessarily a palm tree. That could be kind of cool. And then the tree has a wire coming out of it. um, yeah, this is a really good one, actually. There's so many different ways you could represent it. And I would just look at these and think, nature, music, sound. I love watching Dansky's brain working and the way you make the idea appear on screen before our eyes, kind of like Bob Ross. Oh, I love that. Okay, so what we're gonna do? Just go and grab this line right here. Just gonna draw this line. It's a lovely line here. I'm just gonna do a circle. Circles are nice. That's good.
What is your accent meant to be?
Nice round. Well, it's my guess at what Bob Ross sounds like. I've seen him a couple times, and he's just very like. It was like a bad Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right. Yeah. I'm gonna draw this line here. This is a nice line flowing down, nice and low. Nothing wrong with a good low flow line. Connect those 2 points up. Very nice, beautiful, nice and relaxing. I don't know what I just drawn actually. That was terrible. There's quite a few different ways to represent trees as well in nature. I mean, what are we thinking for nature? Oh, I'm so fed up of doing it. Every brief I think I've done has a flipping leaf in it. Trees can be circular. They can be very, very minimal. They can be slightly bushy, or they can be fully detailed with lots of leaves. I want to try and give something a little bit more minimal than a full-blown tree illustration. Hey, Kaya. Yeah, no Command Z, no. No, I need Command Z in real life. Synthesis is an immersive music and arts festival. See, I'm spending all this time mucking around here actually, but I did say at the beginning I think this is going to be very type led, and I do still think that. So I might be wasting a lot of my time here. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to type the word out, and what I would typically do is type it lowercase and then type it again uppercase. Oh, I spelled it wrong. I spelled it wrong, haven't I? Synthesis. There we go. Synthesis. And just have a look at different fonts and see if I could find something that resonates. Just stylistically. I know we looked at sci-fi fonts the other day. Yeah, that H has got a kind of nice quality to it. Let's have a look. We could create our own sci-fi font quite easily. Ooh, look at the word "the." That's an interesting ligature. Yeah, I think I'll do that in a minute. Yeah, grab a nature icon sheet. Yeah, so like leaves, trees, bits and pieces, all that sort of stuff. That top one's interesting. What's that Balin? That ligature is really interesting as well. Just for that alone, I think I'm going to just put a pin in that. It's not what I would have gone for, but nothing's off the table. Obviously, we're getting much more sci-fi now. And I think I probably will create my own characters from scratch if I can't find something. But this is a really good thing to look at. Because I might look at that N and go, oh, that's a really cool N. I'll keep that in mind. So let's see what else we've got. And sci-fi fonts, a lot of times they do share some similar characteristics. So they'll often have, not all of them, but they will often have a lot of rounded corners. Sometimes you get pieces missing. But yeah, generally very, very curvy. A lot of them have like a flat baseline, and what I mean by that is like, you know, like your S's and your other characters that would typically kind of come below your baseline or above your cap line, they don't. They just sit flush. So I mean, that is one. Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep that nice font there. Blast Age looks very nice. We'll just keep going now. Try and find ourselves a nice relaxing font. Just my partner's just gonna pour me a nice whiskey with ice and bring me a sandwich any second now. That sandwich will arrive. That's kind of cool. I've got a few fonts like this, like ultra condensed. I've got no idea. Contact Adobe, I guess. I'm in the UK, so I'm afraid I'm not really much help. What device I'm drawing? Yeah, this one's an XP pen, Artist Pro 16 TP. I've got a video on the channel of me reviewing it actually, so if you do want to see it in a bit more detail, then there is a video. Yeah, Artist Pro 16 TP. This is not quite what I'm looking for, but it's nice to kind of have like a thin one there to contrast it. I like that S. I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder. I like that S. That's a good S. Yeah, this is sort of a sci-fi font-ish. And when you have kind of caps and title case, you get a sense of what way you might be leaning, you know. Although I'm honestly not there yet. I think this idea could work with both actually. Yeah, there you go. Another similar but slightly different sci-fi font. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We've got to try and fuse the nature side in there as well. So that is actually that is pretty cool. Kotox. Kotox. Dharma. Let's keep going. Wow. That is ultra condensed. I mean, I wonder, what about like a sci-fi sort of tech font, but that has a rugged quality to it? You know, some of these other fonts do look a bit more like maybe the distressed effect on it. I don't know. They feel like they could be a bit more naturey or a bit earthy. I don't know. Maybe we could fuse the two into the type somehow. You can go with the second one for all the caps, sound waves above the Y. Yeah, I mean, I think there's this is it. When you sort of sometimes it's good to play around with fonts because I mean it depends on what kind of logo you're going for. So for me, I like to muck around with all of it in the early stages because I might find a font that I look at and go, that is amazing. There's a gap between these letters. I can put something in that gap, and then I'll kind of work from there. But I just don't know. That's kind of cool. Gashalt. Very good. Right. Let's keep going. Giddy up with a little star on the eye. No, I don't think so. Absolutely not. That's very tentacly. Again, that one's got a nice little star on the eye. But nope. Nopety nope, nope. Right. Where did I get to? Oh, we could tap down here actually. This could work. Ooh, yeah, something like this. What's this? Grunge wall regular. Yeah. Maybe a baby. I don't know. Let's see. Let's keep going. That's the Harry Potter font. We can't use that. Definitely not. That's an interesting one. Not quite what I'm looking for. Oh, was it? Fun facts with Keith. Right. Ooh. I like how bold that is. What font is that? Indigo. Pixelated fonts. I don't think they would work because of the nature element as well. I think it would look weird. Pixelated fonts, they can be really cool. Raquel did a really nice pixel font. They have like more of a retro feel. And so they can be used for tech things sometimes. But I don't know if the blend with nature would work there necessarily. Synthesis. What's that? Montoa's 2. That's cool. Yeah, see, that's got kind of like a... Oh, where's it gone? Yeah, a few different variations. So we've got a vintage one. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like how rough it is. Uppercase, obviously, not quite what we're looking for. Do not drink with left hand. Why not? See, when people say don't do something, it just makes me want to do it more. I have a challenge for you. I'll take your do not drink with left hand and I'll raise you. Do not drink with your mouth. Touche. Let's see you handle that one. Right, we're getting quite far through my fonts and nothing has really struck a chord yet. That's nice. That came up the other day actually on the logo sheet exercise. That is rather nice. Hmm. This is quite good. What's this? But RB number 2. Couple of alternatives here. I do like that actually. Go with the alternative. Got quite a nice collection of fonts actually. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to mix this with nature. That is going to be the next step. Colors as well. I know I'm kind of running up ahead a little bit. Ooh, that's a cool T. Ooh. Ooh, what is that? Ruten. That's... Oh, I love that T. That is cool. And if you've got any alternates. Oh, you do. Oh, you beauty. Any different S's? Different I's? I mean, I gotta be honest, I do really like that. I don't know if it's quite right, but I really do like it. I'm not entirely sure. I could get nature to kind of blend in with that, maybe. It's always good as well when you have some fonts that you can select the characters and they have something called a stylistic alternate, which are like additional characters, and you can see them pop up here. And it makes customizing everything so much easier and getting some like really nice looking type without really using that much skill. You know, just make sure parts of some letters aren't like crashing into other letters. Ooh. Oh, it's got a stamp version as well. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, see, that's got a much more sort of, that feels a lot more naturey. Whatever it was before I got off it. This one. And the font's called Rustling Trees. Well, it definitely has a tree-like quality to it. Any alternates? Yeah, we got a few. We got a lot, actually. Wow. Okay, let's get rid of the bottom. I think it's these lines. They definitely make it feel like it could be like from a leaf, that sort of texture. You got any crazy teas? Huh. Oh, that is nice. Not that one. Where is it? This one. H. So you gotta be careful because they're sort of colliding into each other. So we don't want to go. We don't want to go too wild. Any S's? Yeah, we got loads of S's. Yeah, so you can see just by picking some different characters, those stylistic alternates, you really can sort of change the lettering and how it kind of flows and fits together. Synthesis. Huh. And there's quite a nice balance there actually, whether it's right or not. I don't know, but there is like a really nice balance. You see those ligatures, not sorry, not ligatures. The tail and the descender and the part on the T. Is that the crossbar? I forget. There's like a nice sort of balance here if you kind of block all of them off. It's not exact, but there is like a nice sort of symmetry. So those elements are very prominent in the text and they do kind of create some sort of balance, which is pretty cool. Right, I think we're nearly exhausted on all my fonts. T head could be a music wave. Possibly, yeah. It kind of depends which way I'm going to go with it. It really does because if I'm doing my my default is sometimes to start coming up with a clever logo mark, and that's the sort of style that I really like doing, trying to get lots of stuff into a simplified mark. But there's also part of my brain at the beginning that could be useful, but maybe not. I don't know. There's part of my brain at the beginning that was saying this is going to be more type led. So the fusion between the tech, the music, the festival, and the nature is going to be more type led. I don't know why. That's just part of my brain. That's just an idea that popped in my head. That's a nice font as well, actually. Got quite a variety here. Some of these are real proper sci-fi, and others are a bit more sort of cursive in style. That's quite cool. Oh, I've got flipping characters for you as well. Oh, these are great. Look at all these different characters. Got some T's, got any T's? Yeah, see it crashes into the S, so that's not really any good. That's nice. We'll probably get away with it going through the H. There's a bicycle for an E. I don't know why. No idea. The S. Maybe a slightly different S on the end. Maybe. That could work. It's a very over the top S, but the sort of big bowl shape here does sort of balance quite well. That is a lovely font, actually. What is that? Selfie Nui. What do you say? Oh, flipping out. This is going to be hard choosing a font. Damn.
Absolutely wild out there.
It's wild, is it?
Yeah. It's a tornado.
This is really cool. This is probably more on the festival side of things than anything else. Right, I think we'll leave it there for fonts. So if I were going to go back to the brief, let's just reboot Illustrator. Sometimes certain fonts, I think certain fonts could be a bit problematic. And when you, like, this is why I always say, like, just be careful where you download your fonts from. Sometimes the free ones can cause problems, depending on which site you get them from. And it can sometimes, your screen might flicker and it will sort of crash your GPU. And then you just reboot it and then it's all super fast again. God, that is a lot of different fonts. Are there any there that are standing out in particular to you in terms of sort of style? More sci-fi, more cursive? What are you thinking? You like that one, Raquel? Yeah, I feel like these ones, they do sort of, maybe that style is, as you say, a bit more musical rather than just tech. I think it's the flowing nature of it. You have two worlds to mix. We have two worlds and we have one word. So, yes. I mean, there is like an obvious answer that comes into my head that I don't know if it's necessarily that inspired. Some sort of nature droplet leaf thing over here. A little bit like ignite as well. That sort of word from the brief. What was the brief? Let's go and remind ourselves. Oh, it's not on here, is it? It's in Photoshop. So let's just copy that. Paste you in here. Nature meets noise. Ignite the night. Oh, there is a clever idea somewhere. I mean, if I was to take this one, just as it is, I don't know if this is really the right font. And the kerning is not great at all. That's how I'd probably style it for the stacked version. Not necessarily that font, but you could sort of sit it underneath. This is quite nice. What about if we break it into two words? Oh, sorry, two lines. Yeah, mechanical as well. Or is it mechanical? I don't know. There was the word engineered in there. I don't know if I would lean into it like mechanical, but just a bit modern. Not modern, like sort of sci-fi or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go fully mechanical. This could be kind of cool if I get rid of the dot on the eye. which I probably could do. Is there one there? Oh, there we go. We've got one without the I. Oh, look at this. What can't this font do? Push that part of the H up, or maybe bring the S down a bit. And it almost kind of Tetrises perfectly together. And then if I did want to add like some sort of nature element in there, I could do. Got a little bit of space in here, bit of space here. I could do something. So you could do like a little something there, or a little moon. There we go. This little moon, nighttime party. No, it'd be too small to turn it into leaves, I think. But I do like the way they all stack. But I don't know if the S is a bit much. Some sharp angles. I like this option with the log and that font. Do you like it? The text looks like a pile of twigs. Which one are we talking about? Sorry, Rob, is that this one up here? The twig text. Because this sort of style, we could add that to the lettering. That grungy style. So pick like a different font and then add the grungy sort of style. I don't know. Maybe this is kind of onto something actually. If we customize the letters a bit, if we need to. We can try some other S's. Not sure about that. Let's just scrub through a few. We need it to look as much like an S as possible. Maybe that E feels a bit weird. Yeah, maybe back to the joined E. I'll probably customize it maybe a little bit and curve it a bit more. Massive E. That S is nice, actually. I do like that. It's very odd the way it all sort of stacks. It's not the sort of thing I would typically do for a logo. It's a very odd shape if we were to like just map out the shape of this logo. It's kind of that sort of shape. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just very, very different. You like that font? Nice S. Yeah, the cursive S can sometimes, the lowercase one could sometimes look a bit odd, or a bit harder to read. There's something about the E I'm not liking. I think it's because it's. Oh, I feel like I'd probably want to redraw this actually. I guess it's not clear to read. That is potentially a problem, yes. Because we've taken one word and split it on 2 lines. Is that a terrible idea? It might be. But I won't tell if you won't. Right, what are the white? Oh my flipping goodness. What? I've never seen a font with so many stylistic alternates. Oh wow, look at that. So you could have the Y come down and loop back into the E. Or we do just put this back up on one line. Stop mucking around. and have a play. Oh, these are beautiful. So we've got like a gap here, we've got a gap here. Flipping heck, what's that, like 30 H's? I've never ever seen a font with this many alternates. Put a pin in this font if you like it. This is absolutely insane. Yeah, we've got loads of T's as well. This one's not even colliding with the H, which is a bit better. I don't know if there's maybe too many descenders there. Your I and S, that, yes, you are unfortunately spot on. Still a Y. It's gonna have to be a little baby one, isn't it? Just a normal, regular old S, which isn't my favorite character in the set, but yeah, we definitely can't have one character reading as another. Hmm. I don't know if this H is a bit too much. So like a normal, maybe a more normal H. We could have it sneak in under there. Yeah. The capital S is giving me sheet music vibes. You're right. It looks like a what is it? A treble clef or a quaver or I don't know. I'm just gonna throw musical words that I know at you. Make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. But yes, you're right. Actually, looking at it, sometimes it's funny. It's you sort of look at fonts and you think it's sort of evoking something, but you can't really put your finger on it. So I think that's probably the better version of the two. Car, I do love that. I do flip and love that actually. I just is it right? What else can we add to it? It wasn't actually the idea I had in my head. I had a much more this sort of style in my head, tracked quite wide with the lots of space between the letters, and then some sort of nature element woven in. It wasn't where I saw it going actually, but that is a flipping good font. Synthesis. Oh, yeah, of course. I got rid of the dot on the I, didn't I? Because I didn't have any space for it. And now we can bring it back. Where's my alternates gone? Type glyphs. Yeah, open up the glyphs panel if you want. Where's all the eyes gone? I swear there were more eyes. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what I've done to it. I've broken it. Yeah, so we've got a few to few to choose from here. Ooh, maybe the disconnect between the I and the S at the end, because there's a few disconnects throughout, which I think does help the legibility because the whole thing is so connected. So having this part on the T actually flow backwards and not smash through the H, all these little changes just help make everything a bit more legible. Because these fonts can be sometimes quite tricky to read. You know, so if I put that back to the original I, where is it? You see what I mean? It does make it a bit harder to read, whereas when you kind of separate it out. I still don't like that E though. It's this bit, oh yeah, I think it's this bit here. Like the line is just, oops, wrong tool. It just sort of, I don't know, it's not smooth. So if I were going to use this, I probably would redraw this, which is really easy to do. I just trace over it. But then I can kind of get all my lines and my widths and everything and have full control over it. I can make it thinner, I can make it thicker. I assume full control, which is max. It's sometimes better. Sorry, random tangent. Too much Stranger Things. It looks like a cable. Yeah, there's so many different ways you could go with it. And I mean, yeah, just the way everything flows and fits together as well. It does. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching here. It does feel like there's a party going on here. This whole word, and tell me if I'm talking rubbish. This whole word feels like a party with these bits kind of. It's almost like throwing your hands up in the air, like, hey, the T's doing that, and the Y's like, whoa, over here, and oh, I feel like these letters are having a great time, or I haven't had enough sleep. It's one of those two things. Be quiet, Andrea. Nothing to see here. It does feel like there's a party going on, right? I think okay. I didn't expect it to go here, but I think this is where it might be going. So, how are we gonna get nature in there? What do we need to? Let's take it over here. Come on. Come to the brief. The brief. Right. Music Arts Festival, where nature meets noise. Set deep within the landscape, the festival celebrates. There's definitely some celebratory vibes going on there. Art and sound. Environment. Blurs the line between organic. I mean, the line work definitely feels organic. And the electronic. Capturing the tension and harmony between raw nature and engineered energy. See, that's another thing as well, actually. If I were to redraw the letters using a like a path, you could then make an art brush or a pattern brush and apply it to the lettering, to the stroke. So if I wanted to have it like as a linear kind of letter, so let's say it was like this. So this is my S, and I wanted to do something like this, like a train track. If you have the lettering drawn yourself as a path, you can then create a custom brush and apply that to the stroke. So it sort of does open up more options by redrawing it as well. I love this E. You like the E, do you? I mean, it might be a personal thing. Angeline says it takes care of the festival and arts part of the brief, feeling like a party. It is, right? It is like a party. Yeah. Bizarre. I didn't expect to end up here, but Oh yeah, the human connection element. Yeah, human connection. I feel like these letters, they all know each other and they're all having a little party and a little jig, having a little dance. And yeah, and I wasn't going to lean into the human connected element. In my brain, I was really like, I'm going to focus on the music and the nature. So the fact that this is sort of accidentally almost woven itself in there. Experimental DJs. Yeah, even the lettering, the way the sort of different parts of the letters are all flowing off in different directions and like filling gaps, and that does feel, I mean, even the process you could argue was quite experimental, right? Ignite the night. The brand should feel raw yet refined, grounded yet electric, and completely alive. I Yeah, actually, that's a really important part. It should feel completely alive. If I went down this route, it wouldn't have been impossible, but I think it's you can't say that doesn't feel like it's alive and there's stuff going on. Exactly, yeah, I kind of sort of forgot that last part. Completely alive. The letters are besties, exactly. Give it the same grunge treatment as the font under the log. Yeah. So, God, design process is a funny old thing, isn't it? You think it's a straight line. No, it's just people's expectations of the design process, what it actually looks like. You never know what's going to happen. Right. Yeah, so we could grunge that up. Yeah, what is the best way to do this? Because in Photoshop, you can use a displacement map. And I love that technique. Normally, I want to keep it in Illustrator because it's obviously vector and I was going to say Vecna then. Damn it. Yeah, like when you zoom in, obviously in Illustrator, like a vector grunge effect is never going to look as good as something raster based in Photoshop because you get a little bit more realism in Photoshop than with vector software. But obviously, like supplying a logo in Photoshop format would make me feel a bit weird. You know, you could provide it at a massive size, but there's just other issues in terms of scaling, how it scales down, if it's pixel based rather than having it vector based. Yeah, okay, what tools can we use for it? Yeah, this is going to be interesting. My default one is normally to grab a texture and live trace it in Illustrator and then punch it out of the lettering. But this one here kind of does both. To create this effect, you need to have some sort of grunge kind of punching out of the letters, and then you need to have other grunge around where it's punching out. So some bits of the letter are sort of breaking off, and other bits are sort of being destroyed and distressed. So it's kind of like a two-stage thing. Now I will redraw this, but first I feel like I should nail down a process and finish it as well, because maybe there's just one more thing we could add in there that would just be the icing on the cake, like a little moon or something. I don't know. Maybe a heart. There we go. Lovely little heart. Oh, isn't that nice? Right. I've got these textures here actually. And I found these. When did I find these? I think it might have been about a year or two ago. I found these, and I didn't know you can get these for free from Adobe, which is insane. It's like how have I never seen these? Yeah, the Epic S3 pack, and they're just these. I think because I got Creative Cloud, I just could get them, and I downloaded them, and they were amazing. So it's just like there's a bunch of, I think these are brushes. But then there's the textures as well. And I was like, oh, yes. So you can literally just drag them in. So normally I would have to go and live trace all of this. Yeah, so it brings in this texture. This is a raster based texture as well, which is cool. Because then I've got it raster based, nice and detailed, but then I can live trace it if I want. So if I don't want to use this one, if I go and live trace this first, we'll give it a go. Default. Yep. Just save your file before you use this, because I think these textures can generate a lot of anchor points, and a lot of anchor points can sometimes cause things to crash. So, you know, I think the improved live trace now is a lot better, and it has like more features and things. But if you've got like if it generates like 100,000 bits of geometry, depending on the complexity of your image, it can sort of go, no. Right, what am I doing? So, advanced settings. So to get back as much of the detail, you can see it's kind of lost some of the detail. You want to bring the noise down, and the paths, I think we want to crank them up. Corners, is it less corners or more? Maybe I'll leave it in the middle actually. We definitely want to ignore a color, so it will choose the white background by default. And threshold, you can just choose how much it captures. So yeah, maybe something like that. And then we'll expand it. Shrink it down. Size does matter here as well, depending on how big you want your grunge to be. And then just make sure it's on top of the text, and then make the color white. Just like that. And then we could probably scale it down. Give it a rotate. And this is just one way that you can apply a bit of texture to some lettering. And we could even actually, we could double it up by duplicating it, and we could make a much bigger version. So we have some larger bits of grunge, and then we might even be able to do a smaller bit as well. And if anyone's got any other techniques, please do shout them out, and we can have a play. Because it'd be good to figure out a way to. Oh, it's a bit much now. It'd be good to figure out a nice technique to do this in Illustrator. It kind of fits this whole design. Yeah, that's probably a bit much. And then we could take that. And then you kind of want a little bit coming off the letters. There is actually, I can never, there's a course lesson in the Illustrator. I think it's the first class that, I think it's an intro, off the top of my head, it's an introduction to filters. And it's a particular sequence of steps and filters that give you a really nice grunge effect. And it keeps the effect mapped to the center of the text whilst keeping the border sort of relatively grunge free, if you like. And it's a really cool technique. I think this has gone a bit too mad now. Gone to grunge city. We need to find our way back. Oh, there are some really cool things that you can do with the appearance panel actually. Let's try something, because we can keep this editable, which is nice. I'll probably grab a texture and set it to lighten or something in a mask. Possibly, yeah. I mean, I love displacement maps in Photoshop because they just do like 90% of the grunge work, and then you can do a bit of brush work over the top. Is that bad saving it as a Photoshop file though? I feel like I want to be able to keep it vector. I pen tool the word, yeah, and put on a layer beneath, give it a strong roughening on the stroke. Yeah, I mean, we could roughen this. The appearance panel, and there's a few lessons actually that use this in both the Illustrator courses. This panel is so powerful and underrated, and I didn't use this for like forever. I only learned to use this like way into my career. Um, I've got a black fill there if I go and add an effect. And this is one of the things I love about Illustrator's appearance panel is I can stack up these effects but still keep the text editable. It's flipping brilliant. So where is it? Roughen, smooth. Oops, I think I've done that a bit wrong. Is it roughen that I want? Yeah, oh, there we go. I was just going a bit too crazy. So can we go 0.5%? Yeah, we can. Oh, wow, that's good. 0.3%. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so you can just add a little bit of roughness. Some of the other fonts we used earlier had that. They had a roughened version. And then if you just crank this value up, it roughens it loads. And, you know, you can just turn this off and on. This whole effect is just off-onable, which is flipping brilliant. So that's cool. Yeah, you could break out the S. I think if you really had to have like there was a space where you could only fit something small, like your browser favicon or something, yeah, you could use the S. If we could make the S a little bit more distinctive and unique, like as a really probably cheesy example, we get a leaf in there. Do you know what I mean? Like we just turn that into a leaf. So it isn't just an S, it becomes more like a symbol. That actually could work. I mean that could work actually. Keep that. We'll keep that in the old back pocket. Um, but now we can stack more effects. So if I wanted a little particle effect around the outside, I've done this before. How the flipping hell do I do it again? I've got to try and remember now. So I think this is a stroke. These kind of work like layers as well. So whatever's on top is going to be above the other stuff. We'll change the color now to something different so I can see what I'm doing. So where are we going to go? Let's pick magenta, yeah, just so I can see what I'm doing. So now I want this stroke to sit. Can't change the alignment, but I can do a path offset and I can push it outwards a bit. And then we could turn on dashed stroke. We could have the dash length really shorter. We could round it off. We could add a bigger gap, but then we could randomize them so they have different values, different dashes. So the whole dash gap is completely randomized. And then we bring the weight down really small. And let's go back into the path offset. We could try this effect called tweak. And this can sort of almost explode things a little bit. It's kind of a bit like confetti going all over the place. So if we drop it all to 0 and then just move these up with the arrow keys one at a time, you can see they all sort of start exploding and dancing in different directions. And the reason I'm doing this is to try and create some little grungy particles coming off of it myself. So if I change the color back to black, and then, I don't know, let's maybe go back into here, and instead of having lines, we'll make the dashes 0, so they basically form dots instead. And we'll keep the gaps random, but a little bit closer together. And then you can adjust the weight, or we could keep it really small. And again, we've got the tweak value. I mean, this is so cool. If you've never seen this stuff before, then I hope you're enjoying this, because it's unbelievably powerful. And this text is still fully editable. Starting my first graphic design internship on Monday. Amazing. Nice. Congratulations. Are you excited? Happy New Year. Oh yeah, I think the stream's running at 1440s, but I mean, if you drop it to 1080, try 1080, like it should be fine. So what else could we do here? I mean, I've not even tried this, but the crazy thing about this feature is this stroke here is using a black fill. If I were to take in fact, let's do it. If I were to take a grunge texture like this and then turn that into a stroke and then try and use that, I'm going to save it because I've never done this and I don't know what's going to happen. Pattern options. It's registering it as a pattern. So I can't apply a pattern, or... Oh no, there is something there. There's something there. It's just really small. Why is it really small? Is it because it's thin? No. Oh, yes. Come on. Wow. I learned something. That's flippin' cool. So merging a grunge image, live traced as a brush, and then applying it as the stroke with all these tweaks and offsets and things. So you can control the distance of the grunge. This is flipping gold. This is so cool. Wow. I was not expecting that. Okay, so let's bump the weight. Yeah. So this is with a very small grunge. So if I then go and do the same thing, but make this a lot bigger and drag this in and try it again. I wonder if I change it. It gets bigger. Flippin' heck. Flippin' heck. Wow. So what I could do now, actually, rather than having to choose between them, I could just duplicate this stroke and then pick the larger one. So I've got the larger one and the smaller one. And then I can actually control them and adjust which one's more dominant. Oh, Raquel, you want to go back. You don't want to miss that. I've discovered something new. Like, just in the quest of doing what I normally do, I've stumbled across a technique that combines the other techniques I've used into something different. So basically what I did was, well, I mean, where did you get to? Where did you... Where did you drop off? So what did I do? I'll make it red again so you can see. So yeah, basically I added a stroke in the appearance panel, separate to the black fill. A refresh fixed the stream lag. Oh, cool. Sorry, Raquel. I get it. You're excited. I'm excited too. So there's the stroke. Then I applied an offset to the red stroke to push it out a little bit. Then a tweak, which kind of mucks it all up and randomizes it and makes it all messy and stupid. And then I started playing around with a dashed line and having it as like a dotted dashed line. So it sort of turned that solid line into very, very small particles. But once I'd set all this up, it was fine, but it just wasn't really looking grungy enough. So I thought, well, what if I change the color to the actual grunge trace that I had earlier? So I dragged this at 2 different sizes into the swatches panel. And so now that's a swatch. I can then go and select it as the stroke. So I've basically taken that grunge image, live traced it, now added it as a stroke. So the stroke of this text becomes grungy, and then I've obviously got my offset and my tweak and everything. And then I've duplicated it twice. So this top one, I think, is the big grunge. The bottom one is the small grunge. But I can adjust the size, the offset, so I could push the small grunge further outwards if I wanted. And yeah, the order of this does matter as well. So if you want to muck around with it, the order of the effects does change things quite a lot. And the size as well. That's so cool. Fill. Right, what is the... We need... We need black. There we go. So that, okay, yeah, there's a really, really good and flexible way to add grunge to the lettering. But remember, we can change all this. So we could write something totally different. And as we write it, the text has that grunge effect. We could change the font. We could just change it to something different, and it just carries that grunge effect through. And then what we can do actually is go to graphic styles, and I'm getting a bit excited actually. Should probably calm down. We could drag that in there and save it, so you can then reuse it whenever. I am recording. Yes, I'm recording. This will probably find its way into a video actually at some point, because that is pretty cool. I think some of the craziest text I've done with Illustrator before, and some of you may have seen this in the original Illustrator Masterclass. Sorry, the Adobe Illustrator Masterclass, the first course I launched. There was a lightning text effect, and that was pretty insane. Like, in fact, I'll see if I can find the file. I'll just show you what I mean. It was really cool. Lightning text. Yeah, here we go. I'll open this up. Yeah, like this is another way that this feature can be incredibly powerful. So very, very similar techniques to what we've just done, but obviously including blues and white to blue gradients. You can see the zigzaggy nature of the lightning. That is done with the tweak. And I think there's a bit of roughen in there as well. And again, you know, that's why it's worth learning this appearance panel. In fact, I've got a video on this. I've got a video on my YouTube channel. It's called something like the most underrated panel in Illustrator or something. And you can stack all this up and then change the font, text, whatever, save it, and you never have to rebuild it again. Yeah, slightly different version there, but yeah, it's flipping cool. Such a cool. So that was kind of where I was going with it, but then I didn't think to turn the grunge into a swatch. Yes, that is a good point. They are very demanding. Yeah, it depends what you're doing. Effectively, if you're using something that has crazy amounts of geometry and you stack up some insane effects, it's just gonna take more processing power and memory. But the great thing about it is, and if you create like a crazy complex effect like that lightning, one of the ones that gave me the most trouble was a gradient stroke that kept flipping backwards and forwards between blue lightning and white lightning, and it had effects on it. So all I did while I was working, I just turned it off. I just turned it off. Everything was nice and fast. And then at the end, when you want to export, you just turn it back on. So that's what I love about this. This whole panel just gives you all of that flexibility. So I'm honestly pretty happy with the direction. Oh, we haven't got any white ones though. So if I, oh goodness, let's shrink this down again. This time we're going to make it white, or drag a white version of the grunge in. And now we've got to try and add a fill above the original. We'll make it white. And then we're going to change it to that swatch. Ha! Yes! Yes! It flipping works. Oh man, I mean, logically it should work. Like I know this panel pretty well, so logically it should work, but until you really do it, sometimes you just don't know. So that does achieve, obviously it needs a bit of refining, so it's not over the top, but it achieves a very similar thing to this. And that was just using one grunge texture. Like, remember, there's loads here. I could probably go and grab some of the others as well and mix two of them together. So you've got the white splashing out over the text, and then you've got the black kind of coming off the text as well. God, I'm well happy with that. That's cool. Yeah, so for this one, I've got the small grunge. I mean, I could even actually get rid of that. The really, really little bits of grunge. Do you really need that? I don't know. I feel like that's turned out pretty well, actually. Yeah, it's sort of just happened, Raquel. Just joined. Excellent. Pixel. If you like text in Illustrator, you might want to wind back 15 minutes. It was a good bit. Some fonts kerned badly out of the box. It's just how they're made. It's just how they're made. You know, this is why, like, if you're going to download loads of, like, you can get some cool free fonts, but if you download loads of free fonts, some of them just aren't made very well. Like, not all fonts are created equally. You know, so some of them are free, and that's great, but yeah, you're just going to get characters that are kerned incorrectly. But you can fix that, but obviously you just got to train your eye to learn how to kern properly. Kerning is the spacing between individual pairs of pairs of letters. Right, so I'm pretty happy with that. The general lettering, and I am going to redraw it. Probably not now, but let's move this down, and then we'll collapse and turn off. We'll turn all this off actually, because we don't need to worry about that now. We've got the roughen on there. The actual design itself. Where is what we can? How are we going to get something in there? I feel like I want to get something in there, even just a little nod to something naturey. God, it's tricky because it's just gone in a totally different direction than I expected. Custom built stages. Maybe we add a structure, a little nod to a stage, maybe. Or we go for normal H. I'm always doing, when I work with letters and different words, I'm always looking for the gaps to try and remove any weird, awkward, empty space if it feels a bit weird. But also, they can just be a good place to like position other elements. Yeah. So it just kind of gives a bit of a structure and as a subtle nod to a stage as well. It just you got lots of swirls going everywhere, and it sort of just brings some of that into line. Order out of chaos or something. Maybe. Don't know. Maybe it's a bit much. Trying to put leaves in there everywhere. So a bit too much, or maybe just the S. The understroke. What's the grounded part? Oh, what the architecture side of it and the set deep within the landscape. I feel like it's just, yeah. Sometimes it's very easy when you design something and you go, oh, I like that. And then you look at the brief and you talk a load of rubbish to take your design and make it feel like it fits the brief. But I feel like a lot of this that's sort of come about does actually reflect the brief. Whether it's intentional, accidental, or maybe subconsciously intentional, I don't know. Grounded, yeah, grounded yet electric. So what you're saying that is the grounding. There's a surface. I mean, adding that there, as long as I can make it look like a good little leaf, might be a nice subtle nod. Do you know what I mean? Without overdoing it. What do you reckon? I mean, this could even bend it or bend it down. Don't know. Whoa. Don't know. Because the baseline's flat, I feel like maybe flat's a bit better. Or something else we do to make it even feel more like a stage that will still look symmetrical is I might have to convert this to outlines now. Oops, what have I done? What have I done? Yeah, there we go. Right, let me just fudge this a second just to show you what I was talking about. Right, let's reconnect that. So I was going to bring this over here. So it effectively makes it a full stage, but then you've got it central. So it sits totally central, and then this area on the right and this area on the left kind of overhangs in a way that's balanced. I'd probably bring it a bit lower when I redraw it. Happy New Year, man. Do you think with the line, I feel like it is more of a focal point. Like it feels a bit more intentional, whereas the line here is and does feel more like an afterthought. I love how the top one sits perfectly central. Line coming from the Y. Hey, Zensho. Second one is better. All right. Yeah, I mean, both of these need a little bit of refinement. Oh, I can't start a poll. Why can I not start a poll? Oh, I'm still running a poll. Idiot. Oh, dear me. Right. Top or bottom? Top, bottom. By the way, if you like all this stuff that I'm doing and you want to learn, not just learning Illustrator, but you want to learn, advanced logo design techniques, graphic design, illustration, all that stuff, I have my Illustrator course. It's pinned at the top of the chat, and it's a combination of two. There's an introductory course, first class, that will take you through all the fundamentals and get you creating some pretty awesome stuff. But the master class, the second part that comes after it, that's what will teach you all the different techniques that you see me using in these live streams. So not just how to whiz around with tools. Like there's an entire module on logo design, isometric logo design, logo types, drawing custom letters from scratch for fonts. Just an absolute ton of stuff. So yeah, if you are interested, click the pinned link at the top of the chat, and if you've got any questions, just hello@dansky.com, and I'll be as helpful as I can. Hey, Kalule. Yeah, no, there is that this line underneath is definitely like is it there's a, I swear there's an amp brand. Is it Marshall? No. It might be Fender, you're right. No, it's not. There's a flippin' music logo. There's some sort of musical equipment that does have a Y like that. And I can't think what it is. Oh, thank you, Raquel. Okay. It looks like the top might take it 70-30. Yeah, I don't know. Leaf or no leaf? It's hard. If it if I made the line work thinner, I could include a bit more detail to make it more leaf-like, but or maybe subtle's fine. No leaf. Yeah, I feel like that as well. Because if you do add in the roughening and the grunge and everything, then yeah, it might look a bit much. Right. I am going to be a bit naughty, and I'm pretty happy with this lettering, so I'm going to redraw it quickly just to show you the process. It's really easy. It's not too difficult as long as we do it the right way and try not to muck it up. So, what are we going to do? I'm going to take this and I'm going to lock this layer, make a new one, which is going to be like. Actually, no, let's do it the other way around. We'll take that, we'll put this guide on a new layer, drag this underneath, and we'll lock that. And then I'll do my artwork on layer one. So first of all, we need to figure out this angle. You see these are all sloped at the exact angle. We don't want to just eyeball this because all our letters will be different angles. We want to be super, super focused on the attention to detail. So we'll pick a color. Doesn't matter what, because we can change it. So anything that contrasts with this red. And we will match the width to a similar width. Now we're not just going to freehand this. We're going to press R and then return, and we're going to use a numerical value. So if we ever need to create new pieces, we know exactly. We just create it vertically, and then I think what 24 degrees minus 24. That's the sort of the magic angle. And if you want to, you can keep a piece over here, so you've got it. Then you could write 24. Minus 24. That could be the magic special golden angle. The H looks weird, does it? Curve connecting from the T and the stem of the H overlapping. Say it again. Curve connecting from the T and the stem of the H. Not in this version. They're probably a bit close, but they're not overlapping. They were overlapping in an earlier version. Oh, what you mean this bit here? Or right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and we may as well round the cap now because it will be when we finish it anyway. Now there's lots of nuances in typography, like this bit tapering off a bit thinner here. Now, how far I stick to this, I'm not a typographer, so I've got to be careful I don't muck it up. I think this is just something that comes with time and practice, you know. I'm not a typographer, but I've worked with letter forms and fonts and things for so long that I've got to, as long as I tread carefully and don't start going too crazy, I should be able to keep it from being screwed up from a typographical point of view. So I'm just laying in all these pieces at the moment. I'm going to try and match widths where I can. That one's going to be a bit more curved, which is fine. So we're literally just tracing over the red one. And the heights as well. We want to try and match this up where they should be the same. So we can just bring our rulers down. Yeah. some letters are the same size, and they should be if they are, but some aren't, and that is important. Like this one here. So I might bring the straight part maybe down a little lower and then loop it round. Why are we redrawing? Just because I want a bit more control over the weight of the letters, but also there's lots of little parts of the letters that I don't really like. And what I could, I mean, I like most of it, to be fair. So maybe I'm just making more work for myself. I don't like this part of the E here. This just feels a little bit sloppy. Inconsistencies in curves. And so I could ignore that and just redraw the bottom part of this and then match the width. But, you can get into the territory of just drawing bits and fudging it, and you end up with a mix of letters with a fill, and you've got your own custom drawn strokes, and it can get very messy. And I figure if I do it off scratch myself, I've got full control. So if I don't like how sharp this end tapers off, I can control that. I should be able to. Or I could have no tapering. I could have it all the same width and keep it in a more monoline style. So what about these bottom bits? Now, what I'm going to try for this is, instead of drawing the pieces at that angle, I'm going to try something. So we'll draw a circle, get rid of the top part, and then we're going to rotate by -24. Ooh, wait, no. Oh, no, I think I might have done it wrong. I think, no, I don't think we want to rotate. We want to shear. Is it shear? Oh, it doesn't really make a difference on that one. But for this one, yeah, this one it will. Oh, that's lucky. So if we shear that by 24, oh, it doesn't quite give me the result I was hoping for. How can we adjust that? Maybe we could go back to 0 and adjust the shear a little bit so it's less. No. Or would we? Oh, no, there we go. We can just move this manually, pull this in. Yeah, there we go. And then we want to connect these up. So we're just going to snap them together. Just so we get one of these looking nice. How's that looking? Yeah, we can move this out, and what I'll do is I'll just freehand this. Yeah, there we go. And now I've got this piece. I should be able to reuse it. Like this, drag it across. Zoom in 1,000,000%. Yeah, so I'm adjusting the width a little bit to keep it consistent between characters. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the ass later on. Yeah, you could, yeah, we could pen tool it. I was just trying to use the magic 24 number to get it perfect off the bat, but it didn't kind of work how I thought it would. I thought I would just do a perfect semicircle, bump 24, and it would be perfect, but no. It didn't work like that. But now, what I will do in a minute, in fact, I'll show you now, there will be parts of this I'm going to freehand. So the areas that are very, very freehand. I'm just going to do it. Oh, Dan, you were doing so well. Oh, no. Okay, well. That's pretty good. I've got auto smoothing on, so you can see doing that sort of stuff isn't difficult, really. That's pretty good, actually, for a first attempt. And then we could do one here for the T, just not go as close. And then we've got the S. And I could maybe bring it down a bit more. You know, it's my S, so I can do what I like with it. Duplicate it over, and then just kind of have it. Oh, and this is where I probably would use the pen tool then, rather than the other tool. Actually, no. Let's do this one first. So we'll drag that over. And we're going to connect this up here. Just adjust it. I cover all the pen tool stuff in the Illustrator courses as well, beginner stuff, advanced stuff. The pen tool's horrible until you learn how to use it, and then it just becomes super easy. Another one. Is this all making sense, what I'm doing? Hopefully it is. I feel like the E is going to be the hardest one. All right, let's make sure they're all the same black, because they're all using slightly different blacks at the minute, which is confusing my brain. $360p. My goodness. That's no good. Hmm. Okay. Right, what do we got here? We got a pretty one-off freehand here. Now I could continue this line and freehand it. Just got to be careful it doesn't move that last anchor point. Yeah, you see, sometimes shift. I think I might get away with it there. I'm being a bit of a perfectionist, but right now I've done this for one. We can just very simply just move this over. In fact, let's just copy the whole S itself. And then we just cut it a bit short for this one. And then this one's gonna, this one here, I can just freehand that. Flow like this. And then I can reshape this. Again, the pencil tool, it's a flipping magic tool. I think I'm gonna turn off live preview actually. I can just redraw this. Actually, no. Maybe we keep live preview on, Dan. Right, let's try that again, but I need to do it from the other side because my hand is blocking I can't see what I'm doing with my hand in the way. And the smooth tool is always great if you just need to shuffle things into position like this here. We can just align that. And you can see now we've got a pretty smooth fit. This bit here just needs a slight little kink there that just needed smoothing out. So you want to zoom in super close just because any little kinks like that can muck it up. Right. And every time I create letters as well, I'm always reusing pieces. Especially if it's like a sans serif style font you're trying to create. Just reuse the same or similar pieces. Just because one, it saves you time and you don't have to recreate everything. But also it just makes your end result consistent. Like much more consistent. So here, I'm just going to use this same piece. Line it up. And then scissors tool with C on the keyboard to cut it just short a little bit. And then this one, we're going to just rotate this 180 degrees, flip it horizontally. And now we're going to do a shear, but we're going to go positive 24 and then 24 again, which is 48. That's not going to work. All right, never mind. Oh, hello.
Hello.
I've been attacked by a child.
That looks really good.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
But you have to say that because I'm your dad. So you're not allowed to say it's bad, or I'll get really, really sad.
That rhymes bad, sad.
Bad, sad, and then I'll get mad,
What
and
would
then you'll get glad because
He's so rad.
he's so rad.
What does that even mean?
It means you're a radical little cucumber. That's what it means.
I'm a little rabbit.
You are a bit of a radish, to be fair. Great, good talk. Right, spacing. This needs to shuffle over. So I'm hoping the spacing between the letters is going to be more consistent as well. Yeah, Kaya, the smooth tool's amazing. Like the downside, some people go, "Oh, you shouldn't use a smooth tool because it messes up your geometry," which is true. That they're not wrong. It does do that, and it does it in an unpredictable way. But in a pinch, when you just can't get it to work, just to be able to go, and it's done. And you can use the smooth tool, and then if it generates unnecessary anchor points, use the pen tool to delete the unnecessary ones, and then you get your simplified anchor point structure back. So it's good. It's good in a pinch. Right. Am I going to push this up there? See, this is the problem now. This doesn't have enough definition unless I grab the width tool and sort of try and taper this in. But I don't know if I want to muck around with widths and things yet. I'll save that till later. We'll just get the lines looking perfect first, and then we'll screw around with the nice to haves. Let's extend you. Oh, bugger. I've pulled that out of line. So now I've got to select everything else and shuffly shuffle it back in line there. You can tell I'm putting off the one I don't want to do till last. Oh, we've got a little bit on the eye there, which is kind of, maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. Actually, I'll pencil this one. Looking pretty good. And down here, how are we going to do this? I might freehand this actually. So we've got the line at the bottom. I do want to bring it lower, as I said earlier. And then it just depends how loopy I'm going to make it. Yeah, I did wonder. Yeah, so not having the, I forget the knobbly bit on top. Maybe we'll get rid of that. Now, this bit here, what I'm going to try and do is freehand a nice, sexy loop. Oh no, I think I've... No, I mucked it up. Whoa. Maybe bring it a bit lower. That feels good. Actually, no. Sometimes it's easier to freehand like the S. Sometimes the pen tool's just quicker. There we go. We'll clock method this bit, which is lovely. It should make life a bit easier. Oh yeah, maybe bring it a bit lower actually. I mean, I might actually change that and do something like this, to be honest. So this is our Y, and then bring it down and do that. The only problem that might occur is if it might look weird, or the other thing is I might need to curve all the text. I might just be making my life harder unnecessarily. So I think we'll shut up for a minute, Dan. Just be quiet. Everything's fine. Right, what we doing? We're going to skew this by. Well, to be honest, we could eyeball this actually. I never really recommend shearing by eye, but we're not going to go too far wrong here. Hopefully. Just make sure we offset it by a similar amount. And that dot on the eye might become something. I have no idea. Right, the bit I've put off the whole thing is the flipping E now. I'm going to try and... This is a bit of a weird shape, so I'm going to try and freehand it. I mean, I could stop, actually. Yeah, I prefer that. Not connecting it, I think. I'll keep it unconnected. It fits with the whole flowing idea. I just don't know if I break the straight back. All the letters seem to have a pretty straight sort of backbone to them. I don't know whether to break that conformity with the E. Do you see what I mean? Like if I do this, it's the only letter apart from the S at the beginning that doesn't have a straight back. But I prefer it as a letter. And then I can just kind of nudge it in there and leave that as an intentional. You'll lose the grounded thing. Okay. The inside. What do you mean this part of the E here? This is another little thing that I think is good to pay attention to. Stuff like this. Do you see this gap here between the Y and the first part of the N? Try and mirror them in places like here as well, if you can. They're pretty similar, actually. No real reason. I think it's just good to try and find consistencies for things that are similar or that are either in close proximity to another. So if two elements are close and they feel like they could sit quite nicely aligned, then I just align them. Do the S's look all right? I feel like that's just a little bit too connected. So I'm gonna nudge it out by 1. Nudge that out and then rebalance that. And then what I can do now is I've made this is I could make a copy of it before I do anything, and I can change the width. Which I might go, do you know what? Actually knocking that down a point in weight, I do quite like that. And now I've got this full control, you know, I could chunk it up even more. We could add like a light version on the inside. So if we copy paste, do this. And all of a sudden we've got a completely different style. So there's so many advantages to drawing it like this, which is why I would go to the trouble of doing it. I've just got to make sure we don't cause any kerning issues from doing this. And then if I did want to taper in the letters and kind of fix a couple of sort of typographical elements, then I could do that. This little stumpy bit here, I could cut that off. I could get rid of it. Just, I'm in control. I think the kerning's maybe a bit off on the end there. That is the other thing about creating your own letters, is you've got to be confident that you can kern everything as well. So I might have to stare at this for a few hours before I can confirm that I am satisfied with the kerning. And if you change one letter S, you've got to change the other one as well. So just, if you've got the same letter but they're both treated differently, it can look a bit weird. And I want to make it a bit, I don't know. I think it's all right. There we go. I think we'll call it a day on that one. Someone say conformity. Don't start. I can't deal with that anymore. Yeah. The foot of the eye is not looking good. Which bit? This little branch or the main, the big daddy? Oh, it's better now. Oh yes, sorry, since changing it. Yeah, I'm much happier with the E like that, with it curving and then I could go and connect it if I wanted it more E, but actually I kind of like that it's not connected. And I might bring that part of the end down as well, but it's good after a while to take a break. Just assess. This bit here as well, I'm just gonna shoot this up. You see here? Just to help make me center it. Because everything's kind of on a diagonal, so it's a little bit off before. And actually, I feel like it's a little bit far away as well. Closer. Oh, well, that is not how I thought today was going to go. I mean, I had no idea how this stream was going to go, but that brief, I mean, like I did not see this coming. I did not see a 2.5 hour stream that results in custom lettering in that cursive style. I'm pretty happy with that. They could be shorter, but it's also just making sure that if I... Oh, what you mean in length? Yeah, you could do, yeah. Yeah, I thought you meant height, sorry. I was just going to say, like, height-wise, we've got to be consistent to the other characters, but I see what you mean. What do you reckon, Pops?
It's lovely.
Custom drawn. Based on a font. I'm not suddenly a hand lettering artist, but that's a great thing. You don't need to be. Just, you know, knowing the tools and techniques, how to create something properly, and then having a little bit of typography knowledge. In fact, there is in the Illustrator course, both of them actually, there's typography sections. So if you want to learn all the different terminology about the different parts of the letters and how they look and how they behave and what they should be used for and where. Like I said, drawing custom fonts, just so much stuff. That's in the course pinned at the top of the chat. Ooh, we've got a poll running. Should probably end that, shouldn't I? And with the course, you get support from me as well. So if you ever get stuck with anything, I'm always on. I was going to say on guard. I'm always on guard, ready to attack you with assistance. You like it? Excellent. Andrea likes it. Right, we'll call it a day then. Yeah, I think it looks cool. I mean, we haven't even gone back to the whole grunge stuff. This is just like what I would look at now and go, that is like the 90% version. Any roughening grunge and stuff. I mean, let's just do it quickly to see. So we're going to have to... We could do it with strokes to keep it editable, but it would require like a different process because we can't use fills in the appearance panel. So I'm just going to convert this quickly, merge it, so we can whack on our grunge effect. We've come a long way since from, you know, tree stump vinyl. We really have. It's been a journey. Okay, right. So what I can do is just grab this appearance effect and drag it from this little thumbnail onto this. And oh, it's applying it to each piece. Okay, that's interesting. All right, let's see what's going on here. Expand again. No, compound path, Command or Control 8. It should apply this to everything. There we go. Cool. A little bit extreme on the roughen.
Damn.
Hmm?
I just booked our hotel for London.
Oh, nice. I love that. I don't get to see it, you just book
No,
it.
it's a surprise.
It's a surprise, okay.
Mhm.
You always book great hotels,
It's a
so
really,
absolute.
It's a 5-star, obviously.
Oh, of course it is. Your ladyship. I'm not complaining. You always book pretty good hotels. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll go with that. It needs a bit of refinement. I'm gonna probably get some of those other grunge effects. If you want to search for them, search for like Adobe's Epic S3. I think that's what they are. These are all free with Creative Cloud. So, or Creative Cloud Pro, I think it's called now. They're all free. So mix and match a bunch of different grunge swatches that have been live traced, turned into swatches, and then just. I'm excited. I'm excited because I can actually get some decent grunge in Illustrator now, like without, but with keeping everything live, which is really exciting. Huh. Oh yeah, that was good. It was a good stream. I enjoyed that. Thank you. Oh. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Raquel. Just not necessarily. Instead of just getting leaves and clever symbols and integrating bits, actually maybe try and get some of those words and characteristics from the brief into the style. So we've got our stage, we've got our letters having a cracking time, partying and celebrating. Just get a bit of like a roughness to it, so it's a bit more natural and organic. Something like that. Yeah. Car. Happy with that. Oh. Yeah, definitely. Definitely both deserving of a holiday after the last few years. It's been busy.
And South Korea.
We're going to South Korea. So if anyone is in Seoul, South Korea, give us a shout. Give us a shout and we'll grab a drink.
In April.
Yeah, in April, not now. We're not there now. Right. Does anyone have any questions about ideally what we did today or just life in general? Oh, we haven't been inside.
No, it's steak with like this chorizo thingy and
Is it good?
gnocchi. Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, but it's got tomato in it.
And broccoli.
Oh God, more broccoli. More broccoli.
Yeah.
There's there is someone from South Korea called David in the Discord. But I've not heard from him for a while, but I'm pretty sure he said he was from South Korea.
Mm.
I think. I'll give him a poke. Oi, David.
If anyone else is that's watching this stream, join the Discord and send us a message.
Yeah, join the Discord and send us a message. It would be so nice to meet some of you. It really would.
Mm.
And we can go out and get hammered in
Go
Korea.
karaoke.
Go karaoke. Oh my God. Oh goodness, the videos. No, it'd be awful.
So funny.
Leave your phones at the door. What stays in the karaoke room? What happens in the karaoke room stays in the karaoke room.
I hate peas.
Yeah, I love peas. Peas,
I don't like
peas are
peas.
great. Right, I'm gonna go and either harass the children or find something to eat. It could go either way. Oh, you're not a pea fan either. Oh, I love a good
Yeah,
pea.
peas are gross.
Peas are great.
They're
Peas
gross.
are amazing.
No. Peas on your knees.
Oh God, a child's coming. Right, I'm gonna get out of here. If you want to learn Illustrator from me, then there are my courses linked at the top. Otherwise, have an amazing. What is it? Thursday. Oh my goodness. Have an amazing day, weekend. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Christmas hat.
Oh, wow, wow. Right before the end, I'm becoming Father Christmas. Am I fantastic?
Christmas is over.
No, that's not. Don't be a Grinch. Yeah.
Just in case you want to make this into a sticker, Andrea. Hang on, get the bobble. There you go. It's got to be done. Everything else is a flipping sticker, isn't it? Anyway, catch you later, guys. Bye.